John Lusk here, Lusk Archery Adventures. Serious testing, successful hunting. I'm really excited to be up here in Humboldt, Iowa again. One of my favorite shops in all of Iowa. This is the best shop in north central Iowa. It's called Thresher X Archery. And I've come up here a few times. Really great guys in this shop. I love hanging out with Ross. He's one of the co-owners, and man, they just do a fantastic job, bend over backwards to help you. The shop itself is incredible, and I tease about it. The last video I did, I mentioned this. It's like immaculate. I've never seen a shop that's just so clean. There's like no arrow holes anywhere. It's kind of a new shop, but I expected maybe by the time I came up this time, there'd be a few arrows stuck in the ceiling or in the lights or something. But no, they got really good shooters up here in Humboldt, apparently. But I love coming up to the shop. And one of the reasons I really like coming is they carry Xpedition bows. And I've come to really appreciate, respect, love Xpedition archery bows. And since they've been repurchased, about a year and a half ago, they got repurchased by a team of guys, great team of guys. They've made these great changes. Some of the things they've done differently with their new lineup of these 5 bows is all of them have this adjustable let-off. It comes at 80%, but you can go higher or lower. You can go up to about 85% if you want. They all have the modular adjustments of draw length, so you don't need a press to adjust them in increments of a ½ inch, which is really pretty cool. They come in 7 different finishes, and the finishes on these bows are just fantastic, okay? They do, I mean, the quality is just so good aesthetically. They look really good. Okay, Xpedition bows look good. These new ones look especially really good. They're supposed to have a smoother cam, okay? They still have, what I've read, a pretty stout cam in the sense that you feel it, but it's steady. It's just, there's no hump, there's no rivalry. It just like pulls, it draws very smoothly. And this one's supposed to be even smoother this year. They're a bit heavier this year, not a ton, but a little bit heavier. But that's just by design so that they hold better on target. You get less pin float, or better pin float. And so that's the goal of this year in general. Let me just show you each of the bows and see what some of these technologies are. First of all, there's the MX-15 and the MX-16. So this is the MX-15, and I'll hold up an MX-16 in just a second. They're basically the same bow. The difference is the brace height. The MX-15 has a short 5-inch brace height, which means you're going to get a bit more speed, a bit less forgiveness. Okay, so this is their speed bow, and with this 5-inch brace height, you're getting an IBO of 362. That's pretty fast. So 362 IBO. And then some other specs about it here. Its listed weight is 4.2 pounds. Okay, I weighed it, and even without the whisker biscuit here, it comes in at 4.9 pounds. But I will tell you, it doesn't feel heavy at all. There's something about the way they design these. They just balance so well. Man, I'm telling you, it just doesn't feel that weight. So They do a great job, and man, these bows just look really good. Some other things about these that they came out with are the caged riser. You've noticed that here at the top as well as at the bottom, the caged riser, which means it's just going to be a stiffer riser, so it's going to be more accurate, more forgiving in that sense. They came out with a new limb pocket design on these bows, and they came out with a new side stabilizer mount down here on the bottom. On the cams themselves, they also can be, you can either have a cable stop or a string stop this year. They have a new roller guard system, which is really smooth and looks pretty cool. And then they also have a bracket on the riser here to be able to mount a quiver to. So I love the feel of this one. So this is the MX-15, okay, some of the specs about it there, the IBO 362, the axle to axle 32.75. Again, the brace height is 5 inches, and the draw weight, it can be adjusted, or you can get it in 40, 50, 60, 65, or 70 pounds. And the draw length can be adjusted, as I mentioned earlier, in 0.5-inch increments. So pretty cool looking bow right here. Feels really good. Oh, and by the way, just one of the things I really love about the Xpeditions is their grip. Okay, I'm kind of picky when it comes to grip, but man, like, grip is really important. Okay, there's not much that affects your accuracy like having a comfortable yet consistent grip. And Xpedition just does one of the very best jobs at that. They have a little bit of meat to them, okay, in the side plates. They have just enough curve, but then you have this special little slot for your finger and your thumb, which is nice. And then they've got a really relatively thin backside here to the grip, so it contacts your hand in just a small place. Very repeatable and yet very comfortable. Great looking, great feeling bow. Eager to shoot these in just a second. Okay, and here just to show you is the MX-16. So this has the 6-inch brace height, and with the 6-inch brace height, you gain 10 feet per second, or you lose 10 feet per second. So you're getting a bit more forgiveness. You get an IBO of 352 instead of 362. So it's just what are you looking for? Are you looking for a little more forgiveness, or are you looking for a little more speed? That's why they have the MX-15 and the MX-16. Everything else is identical to the MX-15. Then the next bow that's brand new here is the DLX. And the DLX is really a cool shooter of a bow. This is designed to be their really forgiving, great shooting bow. The axle comes out at 34 inches. So that's a pretty long axle. It doesn't feel too long, but it's long enough to be able to be pretty forgiving. The brace height on this comes in at 6.5 inches, which is a pretty generous brace height. The IBO speed is 345, still pretty fast. Due to the longer axle to axle, the longer riser, it's a little bit heavier. It's listed as 4.5 pounds, and I weighed it, actually came out at 5.1 pounds. So 5.1 pounds with this one. The draw length is adjustable modularly like the others, 26.5 inches out to 31.5 inches. So this can accommodate long shooters, of which I am not. Okay, I'm going to shoot all these at 27 inches, but it can be adjusted all the way out to 31.5 inches. Everything else on here has the same technology as the MX line. So the DLX and the MX each have the same new technologies that I just went through for the MX. Then I introduced last July, they came out with a 2020 bow that was actually released in July, and I introduced this one. This actually won my personal Xpedition bow battle. I kind of compared all of them last year, and this one was my favorite personally, maybe just because I'm short and it's a short axle to axle, but this is the Thresher X. Okay, so I did introduce it last year. You can check out that video on that, but this is the Thresher X. Feels really good. Okay, the axle on this is sub 30 inches. It's 29.875. Okay, so it's just under 30 inches. It doesn't have the newer technologies. It has an older roller guard, but it's still a great roller guard. It's a flexible roller guard here. It doesn't have the stabilizer mount. So this one just has the limb stops. All the other ones for 2020 have the limb and or the cable stops. And this one, the specs on this, if you remember, again, the weight is 3.7 pounds. That's how it's listed. The actual weight it came out to is 3.9 pounds. So close to the listed weight there. The axle 29.875 inches. The IBO on this, okay, and I got to explain this a little bit. It's interesting. It's 328. And you go, well, that's really low for an IBO. But IBO is typically measured with a 350 grain arrow at a 30-inch draw and a 70-pound pull. But this one only goes to a maximum of 60 pounds and a maximum draw length of 28 inches. So its maximum speed, if you will, it's measured at 60 pounds and 28 inches, and that's where the 328 comes from, the speed. So 328 at 60 pounds and with a 28-inch draw, that's pretty fast. Okay, if you extrapolated that out, it would be really fast. So this bow just feels really good. It's a shooter, and it can go all the way down, come in lower draw weights as well. So pretty much anybody can shoot this bow. But then since the Thresher X, they came out with this other one that I have a feeling I'm going to really like this. Okay, it feels really good. This is kind of referred to as the big brother of the Thresher X. Okay, Thresher X is big brother, not too big, but a little bit bigger brother. And with this one, okay, it's called the Escape. The Escape has an IBO of 352. And that's using IBO specs because it goes all the way up to 70 pounds and it goes up to 30 inches. It goes from 25 to 30 inches and all the way up to 70 pounds. The weight on it is listed as 4.0, and it came in at 4.3 actual weight. Feels really good. This one, like the Thresher X, doesn't have some of the technologies, doesn't have that lower side stabilizer mount. And the Escape has both the limb stops and the cable stops. It's only the Thresher X that just has the limb stops. So you can use limb stops and or cable stops. And then this one has the new roller guard as well. So it's a really nice feeling bow. Again, the specs are 352 IBO. The brace height is 6 inches. So it's a decent brace height there. A little bit of forgiveness there with the 6 inches. Let off like the others is 80% adjustable. Its axle to axle is just slightly more, and I mean ever so slightly, than the Thresher X. It's 30 inches. So this is a really great feeling bow. I'm eager to give this a shot. So that's the introduction of these bows. Let me go pull them back and explain kind of how it all feels and give them a shot and then give some further tests. The arrow that I'm using is a Bishop Archery FOC King arrow. I have a 27-inch draw. These are cut to 25.5 inches. It's 455 grains. I love these arrows. These are the best arrows that are made. They really are. They're extremely expensive. They're a niche arrow, but if you're looking for the best, this is it. And the reason is the materials. They use a Toray USA pre-preg carbon in a weight, a proprietary weight, that is not found in any other arrow application, at least of which I'm aware. And it's a woven carbon. It's incredibly durable, incredibly straight. But I'm using this one. Its weight is 455 grains, and I have each of the bows set to 27-inch draw length at 60 pounds. First up is the MX-15. Let's see how it feels. Yeah, that's the draw I really like of the Excursion cams. They're really nice. They are very smooth. There's not really a valley, there's not a hump. It's just a smooth, consistent draw. It's a bit stout, I mean, you feel it, but it's easy because it's so smooth. And man, talk about a solid back wall. That holds really well on target. I don't have pins to check pin flow, but it feels really steady. Let me check the letdown. That's nice. It's one of the better letdowns of any bow that I've tested. It doesn't jump away, doesn't pull away, but it also, you don't have to push it to let it down. It just goes down really smoothly. It's a nice shot. Got a little bit of a hand shock there. Okay, maybe I was expecting a little bit less, but it has a little bit of a hand shock to it. Not much, but a little bit. And again, but this is with a bare bow. You put on a stabilizer in sight and so forth, and I'm sure that's going to go away, but that felt really good. Okay, next up is the MX-16. So this has 1 inch longer brace height, loses 10 feet per second. Let's see how it feels. Man, that's like super smooth. For whatever reason, it just feels easier to draw than the MX-15 did. I'm not sure why. Both are at 60 pounds, same draw length, but it just felt really nice. Very smooth. Holds the same back wall. Everything else is the same. Same shot. Bit of hand shock is same, actually, hand shock. It's not much hand shock, but it lasts for a while. Okay, it's a few seconds that you still feel that. Again, I think once you add stabilizer and some weight on the bow, I think that's going to go away. Okay, now I'm testing the DLX. I like that longer riser. Okay, I'm curious to see how it feels. The draw's a bit different. I'm going to test that again. Yeah, that fits. It's a little bit different, but I don't know how to quantify it exactly. It's very smooth, same solid back wall. That's like identical on all of them. This is probably similar to the MX-16 in terms of its smoothness. Let's see the letdown. Yeah, very smooth letdown. It jumps a little bit more than the MXs did. Holds on target really well. A little bit less hand shock, probably due to the extra weight. So a little bit less length of time of that vibration, and a little bit less intensity as well. That's a nice shooting bow. Okay, this is the Thresher X. This one, again, it won my favorite Xpedition bow last year. Let's see how it compares now. Nice smooth draw. It's a little bit stiffer. It's more like the first one I shot, like the MX-15. A little bit stiffer, but still same smooth draw, same incredible back wall. Man, it just holds really well for such a light bow. Gosh, it just holds so steady. And I mean, like no hand shock. Wow. That was kind of surprising. Noticeably way less hand shock than the others. I mean, the others weren't bad, but man, this is like way less. That's a good shooting bow. No wonder I liked it so much last year. Okay, and finally, I'm shooting the Escape. Really eager to try this one. This is the big brother to the Thresher X. Yeah, nice smooth draw. About the same as the Thresher X. Holds on target extremely well for such a short bow and light bow. Let's see the letdown. Yeah, it's nice. It pulls a little bit faster away than did the MXs. It's about like the Thresher X and about like the DLX. It's a nice shot. It's got a little bit of vibration. It's not much. It's less than the MXs, but it lasts a while like the MXs. It has a little bit more hand shock than did the Thresher X, which is surprising. I'm not sure why, but it did. But again, it's so slight. I'm sure once you add weight to it, that's going to go away. That's a sweet shooting bow. Now let's check the speeds and put them through the decibel meter and see how they sound. You can't compare the sound on the meter with these tests with ones I've done on other bows in other shops because, again, the ambient noise, but you can see the comparison between the bows themselves. So the bows shot really well, and I try to think like, okay, what am I going to do in a conclusion? And last year, there was just such a clear winner for me. The Thresher was just like the runaway winner. But the way they've done the lineup this year is really pretty wise in that I don't think there's one clear winner because they each serve such a different purpose. If you're looking for a crossover that you're going to shoot 3D, you're going to shoot target, as well as you're going to hunt with, then man, the DLX, it's a great shooting bow. That's going to be super forgiving with the long axle to axle, the 6.5-inch brace height. You're still generating good speed. That is a great crossover bow, and it felt really good. For a hunting bow, I really like the 16, the MX-16. It just drew better than the MX-15. You're sacrificing 10 feet per second, but still getting a good speed, and it just feels really good. I really like that bow. But I'll tell you, the Thresher, man, that thing, for overall feel, like feel of shot and feel in my hand and stuff like that, man, that thing, it was just so dead in hand compared to everything else, and the lightest at that. And maybe it just fits me because I'm a short dude with a 27-inch draw, but it really felt good overall. So I would say those were my top three. For a crossover, I'd say it's a DLX. And for a hunting bow, I'd say probably the 16, the MX-16 would be my choice, but the Thresher X would be right there with it. It depends on whether I'm going, backcountry western hunting, that would be the Thresher X. If I'm going, whitetail hunting and so forth, so then it would be the MX-16. But I got to give kudos to Xpedition. And you come out with a great lineup. Kevin Strother did a great job with the design, the finish. Again, the company as a whole, the customer service. I really want to encourage you to give these bows a look. They don't get as much notoriety being a smaller company. But man, let me tell you, in terms of the feel and shootability and quality, they're right up there with the big boys. So give Xpedition a try.